Hey everybody, Bearded Rogue here, and today I'm going to talk a little bit about, a few things surrounding the movie Jumanji and this weekend. This weekend we decided to go to the library and get stuff. We love the library. My son has been quoted as saying that the library is the most amazing place ever. He loves going to the library. We usually come home with multiple books for him, usually a CD or two, maybe a movie. And in this case, we went specifically to get Jumanji because we have a whole bunch of older DVDs, including Monsters, Inc. And one of the previews on that DVD is for Jumanji, the original one. And so he's been asking to see it for quite some time. And we decided that we would go ahead and pick it up from the library, and we brought it home, and we watched it immediately, and he watched the whole thing, which is very rare for my son. He normally doesn't pay attention to an entire movie in one sitting. We usually have to watch it in multiple pieces, or, he gets bored about halfway through, and we end up changing to something else. But he sat through the whole thing, and then he watched it again this morning. So yesterday and today he watched it both completely all the way through. And he's been telling us all sorts of stories about it and talking about it and everything like that. I hadn't seen Jumanji since like the year it came out, I think. It's not a very recent movie. Seeing some of the actors and actresses in it and their ages is a little bit bizarre. Like Kirsten Dunst looks like a little kid in that movie. But regardless, we watched the movie and everything, and so my son's been talking about it a lot, and he really likes Jumanji for a couple of reasons. One of them is because it's a board game, and he knows that I like board games. And so he's told me that it's something that he wants to share with me. Jumanji is a board game that he likes, and he wants to play with me. One point, and I posted about this on Twitter, he told me that he really liked the boy, and I asked him, well, which boy? The boy who turns into a monkey? And he says, no, the boy who turns into a man. He makes me happy. And, him connecting to Robin Williams that way and really enjoying Robin Williams it was very difficult for me to talk to him about that or to respond to him. Robin Williams made me very happy when I was younger, and well into adulthood, whether it was his profanity-laden stand-up comedy acts or his appearances in various movies, everything from Aladdin, which was like one of the Disney films I grew up with, to Mrs. Doubtfire, to Jumanji, to all of the various roles he's taken on over time. His role in Good Will Hunting, Patch Adams, like, I could go on and on. Robin Williams was one of my favorite actors, and him, the unfortunate tragedy of his demise is something that I'm not prepared to talk to my son about or even like broach the subject on. So it was very hard for me to explain why Daddy was sad, even though he was talking about this man that we both love and that we both really enjoy the work of. So that was a very interesting conversation that came up, trying to figure out how that would work. But he really likes it. He really wants to share it with us and me. He's very into it because it's a board game and because he knows that board games are something that I am interested in and love. And so it seems like this movie is an attempt by him to reach out and connect with me in a way that I find very, very endearing and lovely, actually. He was talking tonight as I was putting him to bed, and One of the things he likes to do is sometimes when he's really tired, he won't have me get books and read him stories. Instead, he'll read invisible books, which is basically just him telling us stories while I pretend to hold up a book and flip the pages. And this time he wanted to tell me all about Jumanji. And so he went through the whole plot of Jumanji, and then afterwards asked if we could play. And I told him it was way too late, we can't play Jumanji. Besides, Jumanji's pretty scary, why would he want to play it? And he kept iterating, over and over again that, it wasn't that scary, it was a game, and he wanted to play it. And he wanted to play it with me. And I finally asked him why. Why do you want to play Jumanji? What is it about Jumanji that you want to play? And he said, well, if we finish the game, then all of the bad things go away and we get to live happily ever after. And I said, okay, so like what bad things? He's like, well, the animals. And I'm like, okay, yeah, like in the movie. And then he says, and bedtime. And I kind of smirk. And then he says, and your job, and Trump, and vegetables. And then he kind of drifts off, Trump and money and vegetables. And then he kind of drifts off and eventually goes to sleep. But I'm sitting here listening to him talk about this, how he's absolutely committed to playing Jumanji because he thinks that if we play a whole game, that all of the bad things will go away. It distresses me that he knows Trump. Obviously, as somebody who's decently political online, I have mentioned his name once or twice in heated tones. He knows that I'm not happy with that whole situation, so that's one of the things that he wants to go away. But the fact that he characterized money and my job as well is interesting to me. Money is something that I grew up having not enough of, and so a lot of the time when we're looking at things that he wants or looking at things that he wants to do, money is the first thing that enters into my head and is often my reason as to why he can't have this toy this time. And it's all true. I mean, we only make so much. There's only so much to go around. We try to, split it around all of us in the family so that everybody gets good stuff, but we can't do it every time we go to the store. And we go to the store quite a bit, especially now that we're eating keto, because meat doesn't keep for as long as some of the other things that you can eat. Most carbs keep much better. Meat you have to buy pretty regularly. But just hearing that money is an evil thing in his mind, or a bad thing, and that my job is a bad thing in his mind is a little concerning to me in a couple of ways, but I don't know what way I should be concerned. Obviously, I'm going to have to talk to him more. I don't know if it's just because he knows that those are things that make me mad or upset, or if they're things that make him upset, or if it's just because he wants me to spend all of my time all day long with him instead of working, because I work a lot. And when he's home, especially for the summer, since school hasn't been in session, a lot of the time he wants to know why I can't just sit and watch movies with him during the week, because I'm working. So I don't know where that comes from, but it's very interesting that this movie has kind of captured his imagination, and that he's using it as a way to communicate with me and to reach out to me the way that he is. It's a movie that I liked when I was younger. It's a movie that I still like now. It's still a pretty good movie. It's been a weekend that's given me a lot to think about. Here's this piece of media that he chose because he saw it on an old DVD, and then while watching it sees connections and parallels between it and me and him and life and the universe and everything. And it's one of those moments where it's great to be a parent, and at the same time, you don't know exactly what you're supposed to do as a parent. So, yeah, it's been kind of neat. For those of you who haven't seen the original Jumanji, I do recommend it. It is a kids' movie. There are some moments that are a little scary for littler kids, but he's 5 and had no problems with any of it at all at this point. It's by far less scary than some of the comic book movies or Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles stuff that he's seen just watching media in general. So it worked, and it was really good. And he wants to watch it again tomorrow, and he wants to play the game so that we can, get rid of all of the bad things and live happily ever after. I can't say that I fault him for that. Anyway, that's it for today. I'm gonna let you guys go. I'm not sure exactly what I think about all of it in general, but it's been a pretty interesting weekend. So, talk to you guys later. Bye.